So I think what I'm trying to do here is um, identify like these energies or whatever that come through. Um, the best way I know how. Get like an experiment, just documentation, just record it and everything, post it out there, try to find some fucking people to help me, or be interested in what I'm talking about enough to help me make sense of it, I guess. I don't know. There's times when I feel like I'm like, um, when I'm like barely there, where I let like this other energy that's like, um, how do I explain it? You ever felt safe with somebody and you knew that their intentions were not to hurt you or whatever, and you felt safe? Um, it's like having that moment locked in when you feel safe and having that soul's presence, um, without an accumulation of other um, entities or deities or souls or spirits or forms or whatever to misguide. So it's kind of like, um, what she like, what what the energy chooses to do. Oh man, how do I explain it? It gets frustrating as fuck, man. Hoping that maybe I can invite like one of them. I used to have a nickname when I was a kid. It was called Jimmy Bugs or Jim Bugs. My grandma gave it to me, um, and I think bug consciousness kind of was like a subliminal thing because I tap into this energy and it's kind of gave him the name Bugsy, and he gets real fucking slurry with his words, um, real lazy with his tongue, but he's got a like fuck off attitude, like uh, I'm doing it because I'm doing it anyway. Fuck off, and that's where the confusion and um, the energies kind of clash, I guess. I try to retain, Bugsy, um, to the best of my ability, but it's kind of like in reference to like me, myself, and Irene. I use that as a reference. I use movies as reference because of the dynamic to it, not because of like the role play and shit like that. But think of it as like a sense of humor. It's a funny movie, but this dude is like treated so bad for the majority of his life, and he's just trying to be a kind person or a nice, understanding person, and eventually he just fucking snaps, and he becomes a fucking asshole, and everybody, and he doesn't even realize he's doing it. It's like a split personality. Um, Except the personality that I have, like I feel like I kind of got it in my back pocket, but sometimes it gets a little hard to contain because in a world that we live in, it's like you have to have a Bugsy in your back pocket, or you're not gonna make it. You're not even gonna survive, let alone thrive. Um, but like joy and stuff, I don't. It's, I don't know. It brings me joy anymore. Um, I don't want to sound codependent or anything, but she does. She rests my mind, and that's like joyful for me. That's what she does when I'm in her presence. She allows my mind to rest. Whether or not she's taken on that energy to allow me to rest or not, whether she's aware of it or not, I don't know. If she ain't aware of it, or if she is aware of it, I appreciate it. If she's not aware of it, I appreciate it. This character dynamic that I refer to, though, goes beyond, like, it goes beyond my relationships. It goes, I want to say it goes along the lines of a voodoo thing. But that's just a label, so we can't get too caught up in labels. So there's this black woman. I'm just going to refer to it as such because it kind of gives you an image. There was a black woman that was like a voodoo princess or voodoo empress, or I don't know what her. She was just somebody that understood the dynamics. In some form or another. Whether, it was I believe to be third dimensional, animal sacrifice and shit like that. But I wasn't there, so I don't know. But what had happened is I want to say that it happened, I want to say 3 different times. I don't want to say it was the same lifetime because it might not have been the same lifetime. Could have been 3 separate lifetimes. But like they lynched her like husband, her spiritual husband, and hung him from a tree or hung him or whatever. There was ropes involved. There was like 2 or 3 ropes involved. And she like made a curse. Cursed the white man. And anybody that knows anything about curses and stuff like that, I mean, this is the most elementary shit that there is, that if you do a curse, then it's supposed to come back like tenfold or whatever. So, like, what had happened was she cursed the white man, and at one point in our evolutionary process, we were able to identify white and black in a different aspect, or a different civilized manner, or something. And then then you had like this racism thing that like come out from somewhere. I'm not 100% sure how it happened or why it happened or anything, and it's all irrelevant. Back to the story at hand, though. So she curses the white man, and what happened was the soul of the black man is born into a white man, and he can't identify himself because he was black. You know what I mean? So he can't identify himself as a black man because he's in a white man's body. So it's like a curse. It's like an overlap that happened a long time ago. And like during all this shit, it's like I found this woman, and it's like I healed or kind of understood why she did what she did, and kind of, I guess, forgave her, which took me to a third dimensional place of like, I don't know where I was in my mom's car, and like I went to a gas station or something, and like she was like, stopped me and gave me 50 cents, and she like acted like she was scared of me or something, and it was real weird. And I didn't have no money, and I didn't have no gas, and I pulled into a gas pump, and I was on empty, and it was like we switched places, and she was in my body, and now house. Like she had to figure out what to do, kind of like what happened to me in Tennessee, just having to figure out what to do. And she lost her shit. Well, I lost my shit, but it was like her losing her shit. Like I don't know what to do, and there was like 4 or 5 people that come out of nowhere. They didn't really talk to me or anything. One come to me and was like, "Hey, we're gonna push up your car to the gas pump," and they filled my tank up, and I was able to get home. Now, before I left, I was pissed for some reason when I left. I don't remember what it was about, but it was like this fucking game or whatever that I'm going through, and I was like, you know, I want to get my mom out of this situation, you know, and it was like I better have a fucking brand new Suburban in front of my house when I get back, like bitching to like this energy, and so I go and I meet this black woman. She's got her leg in a cast, and it's kind of where uh, break a promise, break a bone type thing, you know. So she all this shit happens, and then on my way back, I'm coming down my road, and there's a church on my road, and I pass it, and then in front of my house, there's a brand new Suburban. I shit you not, a brand new Suburban, and it's a cop car, and there's fucking lights and everything right in front of my mom's house and everything. I'm like, what the fuck? And I was like, that was a fucking slick move there, motherfucker. So I turned around and I went back to the church because, in essence, church is hollow ground. Um, I like opened my door, kind of sat there for a minute, and kind of, in essence, let her out into um, a church, which was like a Christian church, kind of like, I guess, put her um, um, put her energy like out there to like teach her about like this side of it or that side of it or whatever, you know, as an interest. Like, you know, don't feel ashamed of what you did, just try to learn from it. And so then I came back home, God's still out there. I park him back. This is COVID, you know, you got a mask and shit on. I got my hat on and everything, and I come out walking with my hands up, and I like walk down the driveway, and they got a drone in the air and shit, and they start speaking Spanish, and I don't speak Spanish that well, but I like just kind of did a 360, turned around, and then I walked back up the alley. They had, I don't know what the fuck they were doing, but I thought it was pretty wild. So it was like little shit like that like I've experienced, and it's like I know it's out there. What the fuck, you know? Um, but in essence, it goes back to like the best words that I know is like Himotep and Nuxanamun in the movie The Mummy. It basically goes down to ancient Egypt and um, two souls connected that are somehow divided that wasn't supposed to be divided, trying to reconnect to themselves. And it's almost like in a third dimensional reality, it would be like bringing someone back from the dead. But um, I believe that back then there was a certain understanding, and it could have happened almost. I don't know, I wasn't there, but it's like a reincarnation. So if you reincarnate in a new body or whatever, you're lost without that other side of that other connection. And that's where when that connection comes together, it like multiplies and it kind of creates a ripple. Um, and it's like there's a lot of like mathematics involved, but it's more like you got to find the math in like subliminal messages. Everybody talks about meditate. Um, and I've tried to meditate like numerous amount of times, and it's like my mind is so busy that it doesn't allow me to. I feel restricted, and I know I shouldn't, but meditation is different for everybody. tattooing is like meditation for me. It's like I zone into it, but I've lost the ability to like stay connected to that. It's that breaks my heart because I really have a passion for it, and especially going through what I've been through, thinking or believing or knowing, or however you want to phrase it, that what I'm doing is far beyond just okay comprehension. It takes a lot of fucking understanding and accumulation of knowledge and historical knowledge, ancient knowledge. It's like the Philosopher's Stone or whatever, is the key to immortality. It's not necessarily an immortal body, but understanding one's immortality as an energetic field, because it doesn't think of it like a supernova. Like when you die, it like, and then parts of you go everywhere, and then you recollect yourself each and every time. And if you can't collect yourself, you can't identify yourself. So they kind of like, over the course of so long, we haven't been able to collect ourselves and self-identify. When I do shit like this with my hands, I've identified. It's like an energy, but his name's Bashir. He's kind of like in tune with like Ra, curious, interested, sees the other side of things as I see them. I think that's the proper way of saying it. I don't know how to get this guy into the third dimension other than me and doing this shit. I see him on like my feed and shit, but I don't know if he's real or if he's a projected image of my own, or if he's a conscientious decision to allow the computer to feed me the information I need to get like the validation that I need to continue in this path. There's too many unknowns to know, and that's where I become overwhelmed. When I get in these episodes or whatever, it's really just me trying to control these souls or whatever. Not control. I don't want to use that word control because it's a fearful word to be controlled. It's more like guided. I'm just trying to guide you in the right direction. I'm trying to guide you where I think that you're trying to get to. But I don't know where you're trying to get to. So try that way. You go this way, I go that way. We'll meet back in the middle. And when we meet back in the middle, we keep like coming up with the same fucking the same information. It's like an echo off the wall. Bam. Yeah, man, it's the same, dude. It's the same. It's the same. It's the same all the way. And it's almost like theatrically, it's kind of like making a movie with no cameras. So I mean, what would you do? To what extent would you go if what you knew was to be true? And all you had to do was do it. I don't know. back into like the word garbage or the linguistics of it all, but is that going to help? Is it going to distract? You know, I'm not trying to distract. I'm trying to get to the root of the problem. Even if the root of the problem is me, you know, but it kind of flows right through me. It's like, see what you can find. And then it's like on to the next thing because there's nothing for me to hide. I don't have anything to hide from that I'm ashamed of. It's like the veil is like the veil of shame or the veil of guilt, you know. The veil of forgetfulness. Yeah. She bites her nails. Um, oh, yeah, there's like one rule, and it's like, I can't reach out to them, or I don't know, it has to be a organic connection thing. It's like, almost in like a synchronization thing with telepathy through computers, shared information, frequency, the smoke, yeah, shared information, frequency through smoke. Yeah, it's, um, yeah, I don't know, man. So, I mean, I'm not really, you know, I'm not ashamed or embarrassed about these things flowing through me. More curious than anything. Um, I do believe that, like, smoking a cigarette when I'm smoking a cigarette is like opening a door for um, a certain thing. And it's almost like the universe and gets down to syllables and stuff. And it's like military shit. Like smoking a cigarette is like a military thing. And it's like a general saying, "Can you do it?" And you know, you light up a cigarette and you're like, "Yes, I can, sir." You know, "Yes, sir. Yes, I can, sir." And that's where like the term "can, sir" came from. In a like absurd linguistics fucking dissected language type way. I know it sounds weird, and then like imagine being like two gods or two brothers or whatever that run the whole world. You know, what do you get? Um, you're trying to find this emotion, so the only thing you can do is make a bet. You know, it gets to be like, I bet I can do this. You know, I bet you can. You know, so I come up with this idea for alpha and omega. Alpha meaning like, you know, understanding what an alpha is. Um, I bet they won't be able to figure it out type thing. And we'll even put it right in front of them. We'll call it the alphabet. And I know it sounds strange or whatever, but a lot of things kind of like fall down this weird rabbit hole of this all connecting and intersecting and everything, and all the breakdown of language, forward, reverse, upside down, inside out, fucking symbols and labels and logos and scripture, gives you an idea of like, I said, when it gets to the end, everything starts to rhyme. And what do you get? You get poetry. Poetry placed with frequency and beats and stuff is called rap. And imagine, that same kind of dynamic of, yes, sir, you want to call that a rap? Sure. So now you got your rap, sure. Um, and, it's manipulated, and I know it sounds absurd. It's just like too many of them kind of come into this absurdity. Um, and like I said, I'm really just here to try to make sense of it, like the next person. Um, this is where I'm at so far. Just reaching out for help. Anybody, if you're DNA activated or COVID activated or MK Ultra activated or American Ultra activated, if you're fucking however you're activated in this shit, reach out, talk to me, please. I'm fucking can be in this place for like eternity, as the devil, I said that I would stay here for eternity, in one way, shape, or form, I guess. Um, I don't mean to say that I'm like the devil. I mean, but if you were to pronounce or spell the devil backwards, it would just say lived. So I've already lived. So I identify a darkness, which is that of the devil. It's a psychology thing. And it's kind of meant to deter people and scare people away from it. You go around and start talking about you're the devil, and people, start getting scared or whatever. But it's more like Lucifer. I was watching a movie last night called Lucy. It was about her absorbing this drug or whatever that allowed her to use 100% of her brain's capacity. And it's kind of like that. I'm not saying I'm like at 100% brain capacity or anything, but it's kind of like that. It's like you just almost like robotic how she was. It's like, I know this and I know this and I know this, and I need to get this information to whoever can use this information because it's useful information. I need to get this information. And she's going around in this fucked up situation, killing people, but having no empathy because of an evolved state of consciousness, and getting the information where it needs to go is more important than an individual standing in her way type shit, especially if they're trying to kill her. We kind of primitive aspects at that. But like I said, I use movie references because they have the visual, the ability to give you a visual understanding of a psychological misunderstanding. I don't know why my shit keeps flickering. I don't know if it's going to do that in the video or not. Probably outdated type shit. I don't know. I do believe